Israel through the wars with us. They are not different by language or by religion or by culture from the Syrian, from the Egyptian, from Bedouin. They are the same, but they were crystallized through the wars with us. So the war against the Jews is the raison d'être, the reason for existence for the Palestinian people. If you take away the war from or with the Jews from the Palestinians, they again are not a nation. They will be disintegrated. They will be part of Greater Syria or any other situation in the area. And in the greater chaos in the Middle East, that recognized nations are melting away and falling apart, and Iraq is not a people, and Syria is falling apart, and Egypt and Libya, they are all disintegrated. Once you take the war with Israel from the Palestinians, again, they will lose the reason for existence. I told you that if we will recognize a Palestinian state west of the Jordan River, we will undermine all the justifications of the existence of the state of Israel. And we'll try to count them one by one and show the importance of Jerusalem as a key feature in each region. The religious one is obvious. There's the Muslim waqf against our religion, our Bible. If the land of Israel is at large a waqf, a land that was once controlled by a Muslim ruler, a Muslim emperor, then there is an ongoing obligation to free it from Christian Jews or any other people who are not Muslims. But that's also true for Spain. And you don't see an ongoing war against Spain, because it is accepted that when the enemy is too strong, you don't have to break your head against the wall, going on fight with him. You are allowed to have an elongated ceasefire, and that's our mission here, to prove that what Jabotinsky called the iron wall, to create such an iron wall that the attitude of Muslims against the Jewish people in Israel will be like the attitude of the Muslims against Spain. It's theirs in their belief, there in their religion, but they are not trying to achieve it all the time. Here, they go with the war against us for 120 years because they are convinced through the behavior of our leaders that one day they will be able to push us out. One day they will be able to create a situation when we are weaker and then can take over. And the only reason to build the mosques at Temple Mount was in an attempt to reverse history, to change history, to erase the proofs of our inheritance in the land of Israel and to replace it by their political religion, by Islam. So the reason that what they define as the third holiest place in Islam is on Temple Mount, in Al-Aqsa, not the Dome of the Rock, but Al-Aqsa in the southern part of Temple Mount, is because Muhammad, it's written in the Quran, Muhammad dreamed that he flew on his horse to Temple Mount, and it doesn't say Temple Mount, it said the mosque, the remote mosque, Mosque Al-Aqsa. Therefore, this is, our Jerusalem became a holy city for Islam. Islam is maybe the most political religion in the world. If we'll recognize their right to stay in Temple Mount, that's a key issue to the whole land of Israel. If they are left there, and Todama. The whole world is demanding two things from Israel. The two-state solution and the end of the occupation. And I'm ready to cater for these two demands. We must end the occupation. The Muslim occupation of the land of Israel must be ended, and we should start from Temple Mount. As long as they practice, with our permission, their sovereignty over Temple Mount, our sovereignty of the whole land of Israel is under question mark. Because if I was a Muslim and I listened to what the Jews said, the Temple Mount is their holiest place in the world, and they allow Muslims to take over, to run it, to prevent Jews from praying, to prevent Jews from taking pictures, to prevent Jews from going everywhere there. If we are ready to give up our holiest place, that's the best proof that, well, it's really not ours, or we are not serious on this issue. Now, the legal basis from the international law point of view was widely discussed in the past. The bases are the San Remo Declaration, post-World War, First World War, that adopted the guidelines that were written in the Balfour Declaration and granted Britain a mandate over Palestine in order to create here a dense Jewish population and a Jewish homeland. There's no legal way that the current United Nations can change the decision of the League of Nations. That was built in with the creation of the United Nations, that they took upon themselves to implement all the decisions of the League of Nations. They don't have a mandate to change the mandate. They don't have a mandate to change the decision of the League of Nations, and because the group that took the decision of the League of Nations in 1920, later in 1922, is no longer exist as a group, this decision cannot be changed in the eyes of the international law. So if Israel, the subject of the mandate for Palestine as a Jewish state, will give up its right as they were written in the mandate of Palestine in the international law. If the owner of the house gives up his right, that's a catastrophe in the eyes of any legal analysis of the issue. If we give up what was granted to us by the mandate of Palestine, that becomes, by the international law, a no man's land. Nobody owns it if the owner gives it up. Now, the political basis that Israel exists upon is what is accepted worldwide as the right for self-determination. And we have the right, as the Jewish people, for self-determination in the land of Israel. And the Palestinians will have the right for self-determination in the only country in the world that they are the majority, in Jordan. They are 70% of the population of Jordan. If the world believes now in democracy and self-determination, they should applaud to the Palestinian demand that the Hashemites will go away. They are a colonialist creature created by the British Empire at the end of First World War, when they had obligations for the Hashemites. And this was created, maybe the last colonialist creature in this part of the world is Jordan. But Palestinians are still 70% or something like that of the population of Jordan. And once the Arab Springs come to Jordan, and the Hashemites will have to go, we will have a Palestinian state next to the state of Israel. Some people say it's very bad because United States is heavily invested in Jordan. They are paying maybe 50% of the salaries of the Jordanian legion, the army. And they are paying huge amount of the security services, the salaries of the security services in Jordan. The CIA is heavily infiltrated in this infrastructure there. Israel has a huge interest in the stability of the existence of the Hashemite kingdom, because we have peace agreement with Jordan, we have a good relationship on the military side and the security side, but nobody will ask us. Nobody will ask the CIA or the White House. When the Palestinian decides to throw away King Abdullah, they will do it. Exactly as the Americans couldn't prevent kicking off Mubarak in Egypt, they won't be able to save King Abdullah. And if that happens, we might have a Al-Qaeda state in Jordan. But we may try to have some influence on the sequence of events and promote more liberal leaders there who believe that Jordan is Palestine and Palestine is Jordan, like the late King Hussein said. But going back to the basis that we undermine about the sovereignty of the state of Israel if we decide to declare or recognize a Palestinian state, that's the worst precedence that we can find in the whole issue of a Palestinian state. The idea that one can divide Jerusalem is not that a Palestinian state is threatening our sovereignty of Jerusalem, but accepting their demands to divide Jerusalem undermines our demand to be sovereign over the whole land of Israel. Because if they want only the Arab neighborhoods of Jerusalem, reasonable, why do we need 250,000 Arabs? Why do we need Kafar Akrib? Why do we need Beit Hanina? Why do we need Shafat? Why do we... The whole list. Chaim Ramon used to say, we never prayed to Beit Hanina, we never longed for 2,000 years for Kafar Akrib. And that's true. Where did we pray to? Temple Mount. Okay, that's a deal. If Chaim Ramon is ready that we will build our third temple today on Temple Mount, then we can tell him, okay, the Arabs can get away with Beit Hanina. But he says, we didn't pray to Beit Hanina. That's true. But he gives up the holiest of the holy, the most important place, Temple Mount in Jerusalem. So there's no reason to think that if the Arabs will get what they call the Arab neighborhoods in Jerusalem, that we annexed in 1967, that they will give up Katamon and Baka and Talbieh, and even the seat of the Knesset, that was an Arab village in Jerusalem. So the claim that these are Arab neighborhoods cannot really be accepted as an argument in the issue of, okay, let's divide Jerusalem to Arab neighborhoods and to Jewish neighborhoods. We must remember that West Jerusalem is not recognized by the international community as the capital of Israel. So if we recognize the right of the Arabs that conquered the eastern side of the city in 47, 48, that's the end of our claim for Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. And last but not least, but not the most important, the security issue. People used to blame us before the Oslo Agreement that we are alarmist. We try to create panic. We say that